And to close our session block, we welcome Mohamed Fetiha, CDO at AXA Egypt with Data Without Direction. This talk explores the high cost of implementing AI and analytics without first understanding the core business problem. Through real-world examples, Mohamed will highlight how aligning strategy with data ensures impact. Please welcome Mohamed Fetiha.
Thank you very much. My name is Mohamed Fetiha. I have been working in the tech and the data field for the past 20 years. I've been working in different industries. I worked in pure tech companies. I worked on almost all the telco in Egypt, starting from Vodafone, Salat, and Orange. And finally, I decided during the past 18 months to change the industry to fintech, insurance here. So I joined AXA Egypt as the Chief Data Officer. And this is, in a nutshell, this is me. And this is my what I'm doing in the past 20 years. And before we start, I just need to know how many there's a few people now, so how many decision makers in the room? CEOs, commercials? 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is very nice. So, in which departments are you decision makers? So we are talking about commercial, IT, technology, data. Which part? Commercial, let's start with commercial. Who's commercial here? Okay, commercial. Who's technology? Okay, technology, very nice. So I want to know for the rest of the audience, how many tech guys here? Technology? Juniors, engineers? Okay, not big. So let's start with the discussion. The presentation mainly is called about data without direction, the cost of ignoring business model. So I assume that everybody now knows that almost all the companies are running behind the AI and they need to start with AI, right? Does anyone here didn't hear this sentence before? Let's have an AI model, let's have an AI solution. Okay. Imagine this scenario was me. You invest million in technology, hire top-notch data scientists, and build an advanced predictive AI model. And then after a few months, zero value. Have you been there before? Did anyone had seen this scenario before? Never? No, but all of your project was successful? Okay, so that means that all of your predictive models, all the data models are running on productions, right? All your models run on production? Okay, looks nice. This is very nice, by the way. Wasn't expected. Just to let you know, any one of you heard about the Fundamentals of Data Engineering book for Joey Ross? Did you hear about it? Oh, you didn't read this book? Okay. Joey Ross was a data scientist. He started as a data scientist, and after a while, he decided to leave data science, and he called himself and the group the data scientist who left the data science, and he started with the fundamentals, data engineering, recovering data scientists. I encourage you to read the book, to search for Joey Ross. Joey Ross have a team of like 18 people, and they call themselves the recovering data scientists, because they figure out that 70% or 75% of the developed models, most of them are not going to production. They just put it aside, and after they developed and did all of that stuff, it didn't go into production. Guess what? Why this happens? Because they didn't ever start with a problem. They go and run behind the tech, they run behind the technology, and they didn't think about the problem. Let's have an example here. This example shows the approach when they go with the technology first approach. The company see a decrease in the satisfaction level of the customer. So they decided to develop a chatbot, an AI chatbot. And when they develop the AI chatbot, they start monitoring the satisfaction of the customers. And guess what? After the model, or after the chatbot, the satisfaction of the customers decreased. What happens wrong here? Any ideas? Everybody's still sleeping? Okay. The problem here that they assumed that the problem with the customers, that they need an artificial intelligence or someone that respond immediately to their questions. But if they did the analysis before going directly to the solution, if they try to find the problem itself, they will figure out that the most of the dissatisfaction of the customers are coming from the SLA, the long time to solve their issues. The issues take a long time moving around different teams to be solved. So this is the main issue here. While when the customer now start interacting with the chatbot, sometimes the chatbot become laggy or delayed in respond, and this is make it worse. The customer still now facing a technical problem with the chatbot, and now still facing the same issue, which is delaying in respond. However, imagine if they figured out that the problem at the first place were an operational enhancement behind the back office between the teams, and then they enhanced the SLA, they enhanced the communication between the teams, and the problems for the customers becoming solved faster. And then, after that, they developed or they deployed the chatbot. What would happen? A complete different results here, right? So this is exactly what happens when you ignore the business model, the main problem that you have, and running behind technology. What I've been hearing for the past 2 or 3 months, maybe before that everybody wants to develop and deploy AI without actually knowing what the AI will do. Come on, they think that AIs are like Harry Potter. They have the magic stick, and just by doing magic, all the business problems will be solved. So even if this is correct, even if we will use large language models or generative AI to define the problem and solve it and all that stuff, we need still understand what actually the business do, how the process is moving. All of those stuffs, the AI will never know it without we humans know it at the first beginning, right? Those are the common mistake that companies do right now. I've saw those points many times in the big companies, in the big names, in startups, even between junior engineers. There is a sentence that I usually start after the first 2 or 3 days of joining a new member who joined my teams, that you always must start with the business understanding. If you didn't understand how the business is running behind the scene, even if you are having the most credible technical capabilities, you will never be able to add value for the company. It's as simple as that. And usually this is not a common or a favorable comment, because usually juniors love to run behind the technology and behind hypes in the data and all that stuff. So expensive tech. Everybody's running behind data lakes, AI tools, cloud platforms, and struggle to extract real business insights. I have seen this a lot. Overcomplicated solutions. Everybody trying to do a predictive model to solve the problem. So I have a use case. Well, one of the big tech companies in the telecommunication, without mentioning names, decided to develop a churn model. Okay, so what happened is that the business asked the technology team or asked the data team that we need to develop a business, a churn model. We have customers that churn right now, and we need to predict the churn, and we need to save those customers. And that's it. The business didn't define or talk about any other criteria, any definition of churn, anything of that. So data team went and came back and asked, what is the definition of churn? In telco industry, churn might be deactivating line, might be not recharging the line, might be not paying the bill. It depends on your line type. So they defined the definition of churn. And after a while, the data team came back and said, we finished, we calculated the accuracy, and we did our confusion matrix, and the model is running perfectly right now. So business asked the data team, how many customer will churn the model detected? So data team answered, 4 million customers. On a monthly base, the model detected 4 million customers with accuracy more than 90%. And of course, most of us know why the accuracy is more than 90%. So what happened is the business team asked the data team. They told them that we have almost 200K customers, 200,000 customer churned on a monthly base. So if you're coming here with 4 million customer detected, some of them are true, false, and some of them are false, true, and all that stuff. And you told me that all of your customer that will churn next month included in this model, that's correct. But when I target all of those customers just to win 200,000, I will lose against the others. And that all happens because they ignored the business model. They didn't agree on the criteria. They didn't agree on how the business wants the value to be added. And of course, this happens because the silos part. Data team, AI team, business team, all of them are working on silos. You know, separate islands. Everybody is swimming in his island without really understanding how the other team can add value to the business. What I love the most is the problem first mindset. We need first to define and shift our mindset and define the business problem before running behind the technology. AI and data should support the business requirements, not dictate them. This is very important. Those are very powerful tools. But again, this is not magic. They will never change everything without having the buy-in from the business, without understanding the business, without understanding the logic behind the business, which a lot of this logic is actually outside the systems. We should always focus on value. And this is the PST framework. Problem first, solution second, and technology last. So the problem is the core here. The solution is the second important part. And then we need to start to think how we can apply this using technology and make it efficient. Not just running behind, let's have a generative AI solution in the company. To do what? Nobody knows. And then you hear silence. So data and AI are very powerful technologies. But without direction, they only add a complexity layer to the business. You will invest a lot of money in a very nice technology, and you will lose the money not because the technology cannot do anything, but because you didn't understand how to use technology to solve your problem. This comes for the first place. So for decision makers, please, whenever you ask for AI, for data, please come with the problem first. This is an advice. go and ask for a problem. We have 1, 2, 3, and we expect to solve it through whatever scenario. And then wait for the solution, and after you reach the solution, let's discuss the technology that we will use to apply the solution. Never ask for AI to solve a problem without identifying or knowing the problem itself. Part of my career, I've spent 2 years trying to convince management in some companies, no names of course, in a market share model. They have been using data to prove their concepts, not vice versa. Usually you should have data, and data drives your decisions, not prove that your decisions were right because using the data. You understand this? So the market share model was defining this company as the second place or third place in the market, while top management are keep defending that this is not right, we are on the first place. So we developed the model with different criteria, even the wrong criteria. And guess what? Even with trends, moving on with wrong or the right data, still the model keeps saying that you are losing customer, you are losing base, and you're moving to the second or the third place. And at that moment, when the decision maker decided that this is not right, at that moment, I asked them that let's go and ask whoever invented statistics. Let's go change the main concepts and see what will happen. And for the tech guys, please never start working on a solution depending on technology without understanding what's really the problem that I need to solve. How I will evaluate that the problem is already solved. How I will create value to the company or the team that I'm working with. This is very important, and this is very essential. So I hope I didn't take much time, because I know it's the end of the day. Everybody's a little bit sleeping. I can feel you. I'm personally exhausted. So if you have any questions, please feel free. This is pretty much the presentation today. And I'm open anytime if you have question now, question later. Let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? They will get you a mic. I can't hear you, sorry.
I need to know your LinkedIn account.
Excuse me? My LinkedIn account? Yeah, sure. Let's do it. I didn't add it to the presentation. It's my mistake, but let's do it when we finish, definitely. Other questions?
Okay, thank you. Here. Okay, thank you for your session. Just was asking about what if we have multiple problems in the firm, and I mean here how to set priorities. If the resources can fit to solve all of them at the same time. This is number one. And lastly, is the approach should be we detect a problem, then we figure out a solution, or we can find a gap in the market, something that could be an edge, and we start moving forward. I mean, it should be just only about a problem and we find a solution, or we can see it like a game point, you know?
I love to answer the second question first, and let's go to the first question later, okay? So the second question, mainly you're talking about developing a new product, right?
A new product, a new edge, yeah, you can see it like that.
Yeah, even if you're trying to develop a new product in the market, as you said, you need to find the problem that this product will solve. So you have one of the two approaches. Either you have a problem that nobody tackled before, and you will have the competitive edge of being the first one to solve this problem, or you have already problem existing in the market, and there is a solution that solves this problem, but either it's not efficient, either you have more ideas that can make it more creative, or the market itself can adopt more than one or two products. It depends. So even in that case, your problem is that you need to figure out if the market can adopt more than product or not. You will do a research part here. Or no, if nobody have developed a product to solve this problem. So you will start even in that part with the problem first, right?
Okay.
Okay, regarding your first question, how we can set priorities.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're developing the solution, you shouldn't set the priorities. The priority is always coming from the business owners. So if we are talking about teleco here, for example, or insurance, or whatever, if they need to detect, if they have a high churn rates, and they need to detect churn in customers before they churn, or they have a bad customer experience and they need to enhance experience. So if you have enough teams to start working on the two projects at the same time, then both projects will have the same priority. However, if you have a drop in your headcount and you don't have enough resources, either as an infrastructure or as engineers, in that case, you go back to the business and ask them, what is your priorities? Do you need to start first by saving the customers, or you need to enhance by experience? My opinion, start by enhancing the experience. If you think about it from business perspective, enhancing the experience itself will save some customers. So will decrease the churn organically somehow, and then you can focus on churning customers, right?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
you.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time today. Thank you.